When I first started sewing, I would mainly focus on the holidays, and I would sew little special things like my Valentine apron from last year and all those kind of things. So this Valentine's Day, my initial thought was to make something out of this fabric for me and Major. So I bought this. It's pink with these beautiful hearts on it. I bought some solid pink. I ordered this, which is really, really beautiful, off of Etsy. I love the embroidery on it. And yeah, and then after my last make that I loved so much, where I made the gray suit that I'm wearing on a work trip coming up, I decided I want to make things that I can wear not just on one day of the year. I want to make things that are actual real clothes. I think in the beginning I didn't want to pay a lot for fabric because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I hadn't yet developed my style or the confidence or comfortability level to wear things that I myself made. So this Valentine's Day is going down a little different. Let me show you. So this is the pattern that we're using. It's a vintage Butterick from the 1950s. It is Butterick 5871, and it's just a really, really cute dress. The collar is what I'm in love with. If you've been here a while, you know that I used to be so terrified of collars, but now I know the kind of collar I like, and I think this collar is going to be really, really flattering. So we're making it out of this fuchsia. It's a crepe. It wasn't that expensive, but it feels really good. It feels like clothing. And then we're going to do the collar out of red, as well as the cuffs on the sleeves. So it'll still be a little kitschy, it'll still be a little fun, but it's gonna be a dress that I can wear other times. And I normally shy away from bright colors, but I'm coming out of my shell. I'm exploring different things, and it's exciting. So pink and red for Valentine's Day. I ordered some accessories to go with it from Amazon that will be here tomorrow. When you see it all together, I will leave links in the description if you would like to purchase those accessories. Once you see them, I think you're gonna love it all put together. So yeah, let's get into the sewing. I do hope to at some point use the fabrics that I bought, the pink fabrics, but we're going to use them for other things or whatever. I don't know. We're just a few days out for Valentine's Day, so it's time to get started. So let's get into the sewing. If you cannot tell by my box of all my Valentine's Day supplies, I do love Valentine's Day. It goes back to my childhood. My dad worked the night shift for Ford Motor Company, and my mom would wait up for him, and they would celebrate when he got home from work. She would make beautiful charcuterie boards and a fancy dinner, and she would wake us up. So we took part in all of their Valentine's Day celebrations, and I've incorporated a lot of that with my own children, even though my husband and I do try to celebrate somewhat independently. The year before last year, we got to go to Hawaii for Valentine's Day, and it was the most beautiful Valentine's Day I could ask for. But the one Valentine's Day that I remember the most was our first in our home as a couple with no kids and no money, and we made dinner together, and it still sticks out in my head as one of the best, even with all of the special things he has bought me over the Valentine's Days over the years. I remember that one more than anything. So if you have been watching this channel and gotten to know me, you know that I really do love history just as much as I love sewing.
So while I'm sewing this up, I would like to discuss Valentine's Day, its origins, its history, and why we do the things we do on February 14th every year. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. I hope you enjoy this video. Valentine's Day today is such a sweet day of pink and purple, boxes of chocolate and flower bouquets. The kids craft cute boxes to collect Valentines from their classmates, and we all plan our romantic dinners and exchange sentimental gifts with our partners. But the holiday's history is a bit more complicated. Let's dive into Valentine's Day, its history from its origin to its celebration today. Lovers of history might frequently ask if the day has pagan origins or spiritual ones and what the meaning of the day was originally intended to be. You might also wonder how it became a romantic holiday and eventually a commercial one. So I've done some research, and from what I can gather, no one is quite sure where Valentine's Day comes from. While any specific theory of its origins must be held at arm's length, most people do agree that the holiday as we know it today contains a blend of practices inherited from a pagan Roman festival, 5th century Christianity, and the Middle Ages. The holiday itself is named after Saint Valentine, but who exactly is he? That is a question that I will attempt to answer, and I would love your comments and critiques on my research, as I am not a scholar of that sort. So as we get into this, please share any thoughts or questions or comments that you might have with me, and let's keep the discussion going.
I've been working on the dress, and our accessories have arrived. I will have links in the description should you want to purchase any of these. So we have cute red shoes, and I got all of this off of Amazon. I paid less than 75 bucks for the belt, the shoes, and the headband. So cute red shoes that tie around the ankle. We got a red headband. Red headband. Isn't she cute? We got the belt, the shoes, and then we got a purse because I did not own a red purse. Really cute red purse. Red purse, red shoes, red belt. Very excited for the accessories since we're only using a little bit of red in the dress. So we're using the red on the collar and the cuffs, and I really thought the red accessories would make it pop. So excited about that, and there will be links if you would like to purchase. And now that we took a break for mail, let's get back into the sewing.
So Saint Valentine was a clergyman, either a priest or a bishop in the Roman Empire, who ministered to persecuted Christians. He was martyred and his body buried on the Via Flamia on February 14th, which has been observed as the Feast of Saint Valentine, otherwise known as Saint Valentine's Day, since at least the 8th century. However, the internet has different variations of this story, as they do just about every other story, depending on where you look. So there's stories about him or them. One Saint Valentine was supposedly a Roman priest who performed secret weddings against the wishes of authorities in the 3rd century. Imprisoned in the home of a noble, he healed his captor's blind daughter, causing the whole household to convert to Christianity, thus sealing his fate. Before being ended, he sent the girl a note signed, "Your Valentine." Some accounts say another saint named Valentine during the same period was a bishop also credited with secret weddings and martyrdom via ending on February 14th. Unfortunately, for anyone hoping for a tidy romantic backstory to this holiday, scholars who have studied its origins say there's very little basis for these accounts. In fact, Valentine's Day only became associated with love in the late Middle Ages thanks to an English poet. These two stories that everybody talks about, the bishop and the priest, they're so similar that it makes me wonder. History has a way of becoming distorted over time. I think about my own memories and how I remember them differently as the years pass. I often think what someone would think 100 years from now if they find my clothes that look like they should have been made 50 years ago. I just wonder how confusing that would be. So, history has a way of losing its accuracy over time, I should say. So take these legends of the Saint Valentines as you will, because so little historical information is known about the martyrs, that in 1969, the Roman Catholic Church removed the feast day from its calendar, though Saint Valentine is still recognized as a saint.
So I think I've made pretty good progress today. We have the skirt and most of the bodice. We're left with the sleeves, the collar, and then the upper collar, the facing, and the cuffs. So I think this might be where we call it for the day. I don't know. I kind of want to go ahead and interface the collar and get it stitched and turned, but it's also very late in the evening and I'm drinking coffee still, so I don't know if that's advisable, but I'm very happy with the progress that was made today. I can't see the full effect yet because it's still so pink. There's no red added to it yet, so we shall see. I'm excited to see this all come together. I would love to hear what you guys made for Valentine's Day. If you went the kitschy route I normally go, or if you made something really fancy, if you're gonna have a date night, all of those things. So please feel free to share what you think of this. I think I am enjoying sewing more now that I'm stepping away more of the kitschy things into more things that I can actually wear outside and to other occasions besides just the holidays. So I'm really happy with how my sewing journey is progressing. Thank you so much for your support on my last two videos. The dress with the cape was everything. I really did enjoy the process of making it. I really feel good in it. So if you didn't see that video, go check it out. If you haven't seen my previous Valentine video where I made the apron and all of those things, check that out. That was like one of my first videos where I was really stepping into more of my video diary sort of things, and I was very proud of that. Very happy to incorporate my family and some of our traditions in that way. If you come here a lot, you know that I make these videos also as like little time capsules for myself and for my kids, for whenever they're interested in coming here. They're getting a little bit more interested in it as they think that I am some kind of famous YouTuber. Of course, I'm not Mr. Beast, but I think they're very proud of the work that I do. So make sure you go and check that out, and then we will pick this back up tomorrow and hopefully have it done on time. So yeah, let's break for the day. I don't want to get to the point where I'm no longer enjoying this. So knowing when to call it. And that's gonna be a wrap on day one. Welcome back. I'm feeling very excited about getting the Valentine's Day dress finished. I'm feeling very festive as we're only a couple of days out from Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we need to do sleeves, collar, and finishing work. There is not a whole lot to do, but I feel like every time I say that we end up days away from being complete. But no, I'm very excited. I want to show you today's fit. So, very comfy. It's a slip dress and a cardigan, headband. So I'm feeling very festive. I feel very Valentine's-y. I'm working in the same color palette. I'm loving the red and pink color scheme. It's not something I would normally do, but I'm like really stepping into color. I love the slip dresses because they feel like pajamas, but they're also real clothes. So that's my new thing. I'm done with my husband's old boxers and sweatshirts as pajamas. This is me. This is pajamas and was cheaper than pajamas. So links will be in the description. They have these in all colors, the cardigan in all colors. So yeah, if you want to feel really cute around the house. So today we're working on getting this completed. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I said I wasn't going to do kitschy, but I ended up ordering some heart-shaped buttons. But I also got some just plain red ones, so when they arrive sometime today, we'll make a decision on what we're going to do. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to get to the collar, which is the part that I'm a little bit scared of because it has a upper collar and a lower collar, and collars have historically been my nemesis, but we're going to do it, and it's going to be good, and I'm excited. I hope you are too. So let's get started. So we have the collar. Not the upper collar, which there's a piece for that, but the lower collar. So I interfaced one, and then we're going to get these pinned together and then get it over to the sewing machine. When I tell you trying to figure out the right side from the wrong side of this fabric was a nightmare. Still don't even know if I did it correctly, but I mean, both sides look sort of the same to me, so that is what it is. And then while we're at the sewing machine, I did go ahead and pin the darts in the sleeve. There was 3 darts on each piece, and so we're gonna go ahead and stitch those while we're over there so I don't have to keep getting up and down. So yeah.
In the late 5th century, the Pope outlawed this practice, and some contend that he designated the celebration of St. Valentine's Day on February 14th to replace this pagan holiday. So I found another really interesting Valentine's situation story. There was a mid-February fertility festival in ancient Rome called Lupercalia. I hope I said that right. Which some believe was a forerunner to Valentine's Day. Dedicated to the Roman god of agriculture and Roman founders Romulus and Remus, this feast of debauchery involved a ritual where an order of Roman priests ran unclothed through the streets, gently slapping women with the blood-soaked hide of sacrificed animals. Yes, which they believed promoted fertility. Later, the woman would be paired off with men by lottery. So if you are like me and you are like, none of this sounds very romantic or lovey-dovey, we're in the same boat. And that's because Valentine's Day did not begin to resemble the romantic holiday that we know today until the Middle Ages. And we might have the poet Geoffrey Chaucer to thank.
So the weirdest thing is happening. Piece number 10, the upper collar. Really not that sure what it is for. just based it on the collar piece. Like, this says place its shoulder seams. I don't see any place in the instructions for it. Because next we do the interfacing. It says collar. Let's see how different it looks from the other piece. It is. So you guys think maybe it was a mistake? Here it says upper collar, center, and it's pointed at the center back. And then collar, that's the piece we just attached. Now it's time for the facing. I have no idea. We did that. Now we're getting ready to base. We already did that. Clip to the medium dots, facing, then stitch it on. Then we'll move on. Turn facing inside, press, turn in free edge of collar, hem over seam. Sew inner edge of facing to inner facing, tack at shoulder seams, stitch under arm seams. Okay, so maybe this is it. Yeah. For view A. View A, upper collar, stitch 2 sections together, leave neck edge open, trim seam, turn, press. Oh, I guess that's if we wanted to, on view A, I guess if we wanted to add seam binding or something around it. So yeah, so we're not going to need that piece. Okay, that was like freaking me out. I didn't know what was happening because it looks like, I don't know. I was like, what? So that's 2 pieces I cut out that I didn't need. I'll show you the other one. I didn't need the cuff for view B because that's the shorter sleeve, but we're actually doing a longer sleeve. So these ones I did not need. So our next move is the interfacing for the front. We're going to stitch this edge 1/4 of an inch, press it, and stitch it. So I'm going to go do that now.
A late scholar from the University of Kansas determined that Chaucer was the first to link love with St. Valentine in his 14th century works, The Parliament of Fowls and The Complaint of Mars. Therefore, Chaucer invented Valentine's Day as we know it today, it is claimed. At the time of Chaucer's writing, February 14th also happened to be considered the first day of spring in Britain because it was the beginning of birds' mating season, perfectly appropriate for a celebration of affection. In fact, Chaucer's The Parliament of Fowls is all about birds gathering to choose their mates, for this was one St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl comes there his mate to take, reads one of the verses. Whether or not Chaucer can be fully credited, it is true that he and fellow writer Shakespeare popularized the amorous associations surrounding the day. Soon people began penning and exchanging love letters to celebrate Valentine's Day. The mid-19th century marked the beginning of many of the commercialized Valentine's Day traditions we know today. Victorian men wooed women with flowers. Richard Chadberry created the first heart-shaped boxes of chocolates, and the New England Confectionery Company, or NECO, began stamping out an early version of conversation hearts.
So the buttons that came are really, really tiny, but I think we could get away with using them on the cuff, maybe, and then we'll use these on the dress. So, wish these were bigger. I thought I checked the dimensions well, but I guess not.
Also around this time, the mother of the American Valentine, Esther Howland, only in her early 20s, popularized store-bought English-style Valentines in America thanks to her innovative assembly line process that made the elaborate cards affordable. Google some of Howland's creations and they will inspire you to make Valentine's Day cards of your own.
I have the buttons in the bodice. Well, not the buttons. I have the buttonholes in the bodice with some fray check stuff on there. Oh, I've messed this up. That I'm waiting to dry. before I start fooling with it. I'm not really sure like about buttonholes. I ended up doing it from the inside instead of the outside after the first two, and it looked way better, like way neater. So I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do it or not. I need to look up like what's the proper tension, what is the proper speed for buttonholes, like all of these things, because I struggle so much with them. But I do know that my brother machine makes them better, but I just don't know if that's because I've made more with it or I'm more used to it. The cuffs go kind of here and they stick out a little bit, so I'm guessing that's why you don't need a buttonhole. You're just like sewing it together, and the button is more decorative than anything. So I think these heart-shaped ones are going to be really cute, and even though they're super tiny. So we'll kind of see what happens. If I have to take it apart and redo it, I want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Marking on each side. Okay, I'll get this done and then we'll be back.
Okay, we've spent so much time talking about Valentine, Saint Valentine, but what about Cupid? That winged baby boy often seen on Valentine's cards and paraphernalia is another symbol of this holiday, and it's easy to understand why. In Roman mythology, Cupid was the son of Venus, goddess of love and beauty. He was known for shooting arrows at both gods and humans, causing them to fall instantly in love with another. While it's unclear exactly when Cupid was brought into the Valentine's Day story, it's certainly clear why. I did find another story about Cupid. So, apparently, the jealous Venus commanded her son to inspire Psyche with love for the most despicable of men. Instead, Cupid placed Psyche in a remote palace where he could visit her secretly and, by his warning, only in total darkness. One night, Psyche lit a lamp and found that the figure at her side was the god of love himself. When a drop of oil from the lamp awakened him, he reproached Psyche and fled. Wandering the earth in search of him, Psyche fell into the hands of Venus, who imposed upon her difficult task. Finally, touched by Psyche's repentance, Cupid rescued her, and at his instigation, Jupiter made her immortal and gave her in marriage to Cupid. So, yeah. Love wins, right? We all like to believe that it does. I believe that it does. I hope you do too.
We are finally finishing up the dress. She is all put together. She has her buttons, her collar, her hem, her zipper on the side. The only thing we're waiting on is sleeves. We're gonna get those done now. Look how cute the cuff came out. Isn't that heart just adorable? So let's get these on to the sleeve, get the sleeve on to the dress, and we'll be all finished with our Valentine's Day make. I'm so excited to put it all together and see what it looks like. So, oops, those buttons are so cute. Get those attached, and the Valentine's Day dress is complete. So we're gonna get this part attached. I'm not sure which sleeve is which, because that would determine which way the situation goes. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's a which sleeve is which situation. I do see now that I have a marking telling me where everything needs to go.
This might have been the trickiest part of this project. I don't believe I followed the instructions correctly. By this point, I was kind of over the instructions and just wanted to do it my own way, and I kind of wanted to just get it done. The way I ended up doing it did work out, but it was tough getting it all under the sewing machine and not picking up parts of fabric where I wasn't supposed to. It was an interesting process that I then finished by hand, but I think it needed seam binding. That's what I don't think. I know it needed seam binding. That's what the instructions said. I really skipped that part. So after I got it stitched on, I folded in the seam allowance and then just stitched that down by hand, and it worked out quite nicely, and I like that there are no seams showing on the outside. Then it was time to attach the sleeves to the bodice, and for some reason every time I go to do this, it's like I've never done it before. I can never figure out right side, wrong side, right side, which should be on the right side, which shouldn't, whatever. But I did figure it out this time. I did have to gather the upper sleeve head, and I ended up having a few issues with that. You'll see at the end of the make, but I will go back and fix that a little bit later. This was also a little tricky getting it all sewed in place with the gathering stitches, and I always struggle with just making sure that they're uniform and that they look nice and neat. And that was the one thing about this make that I will say that I was not completely happy with, but overall I think it's good. Let me know what you think. So guys, I don't know if it's just the hair and the makeup that came out so well today coupled with the dress, but I am in absolute love with this look. Not 100 sure how I feel about the belt, but I do love it. Don't know if I love it with this look, but then at the same time, I really kind of do. The shoes are awesome and such a good price. The purse is fabulous. The collar looks great. You know what? On second thought, I do like the bow. I do like the little bit of a kitschy look. This looks so 1950s, but it does not look like a costume. I think the headband definitely helps that look. Very, very proud of the collar. Like I said, the sleeves are a little off, but that's an easy fix. We can go in and fix. I feel like a pin-up movie star, gorgeous wife going out for Valentine's Day. Please let me know what you think. So overall, I really enjoyed this project. I have a few little issues going on with the sleeves, but I think it was designed for shoulder pads, and it's something that I'm going to go back in and try to fix a little bit later. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a fabulous, wonderful Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. Even if you do not have a partner, you can still feel loved and give love on Valentine's Day. And I hope that you choose to do that. And I hope that you join me back here for my next video that is soon and sure to come. Bye.